I have some things in me that I want to say, and I don't even know what it really is in me that has this to say. Seems like me, anyway. And a lot of it is inspired by conversations I've been having this morning through Messenger and Telegram that are just voice messages going back and forth and overlapping, and sometimes long gaps in listening or responding with two Gaias. One who's based in the UK, Ed Gold, one who's based in Texas in the US, named Steve. They have something in common that cracks me up is they're both motorbikes factor heavily in their adventures, in their lives. And they're both huge-hearted, genius, articulate guys who talk a lot. And I love that about them because I get to hear from what's going on inside them, how they're thinking about the world and relating to the world as they grapple with, having possibilities about what to do next and yeah, grapple with how they're feeling, what they're thinking, um, how the resources are going, how they're going to keep the resources going, and how they're going to make an impact in the world. So I love them both because they're all about making an impact in the world, and an impact that is beneficial. Not just for them, super for them, and sometimes selfishly for them, which frankly I cannot diss because it makes sense to me that if it's not good for me, then how can it be good for anyone else? Like, then I'm just giving out of an empty cup or something like that. And yeah, this, for me, in between talking with each of them today, this came up for me. I was thinking about that movie. I don't remember how to say it, Kwanisquatsi. It's the word, I think maybe it's Japanese, but it means life out of balance. And what was occurring to me as I was hearing each of them was, wow, each of them have this balance in their lives of where they're, kind of doing what they want to be doing. It's like part of it came from me being like, wow, it's so cool to have two friends who are willing to make time to listen to my 19 minute messages that I leave some days, especially if you add them up when I stop recording and start again, and who are listening. And it was cute because Ed told me that while he was listening, like for part of it, he was walking and talking and listening. And for part of it, he was sewing. He was repairing his motorbike jacket. And I laughed because I'm sewing too. Well, I was listening to him and responding to him. And yeah, so then came this part about this thing about a balanced life. And I remembered this thing I used to do when people were talking in like yoga retreats and women's retreats about, oh, they needed more balance in their life. And I was like, it was so weird to me that people would be like, I need more balance in my life. So now I'm going to do more of this. I'm going to go to more yoga classes. I'm going to learn how to teach yoga so I can have more balance in my life. And I would do this thing and it went like this. It's like you're living a life and you're like, I can't balance. And so then you're like, oh, I'll take up yoga. Oh, I'll get a part-time job so I can have more money for more balance. And I'm like, well, how about you like find things to put down and then get your both feet on the ground and like ground in and pull yourself in and be here now, and then balance will be happening. And as you live from that, you will have more balance in your life because you're balanced. It's this as within, so without thing. And then I was thinking about that movie and how it's like just like so much of it is just these images, or that I remember, is these images of traffic, so much traffic. And it's like, well, of course, like when when people build their lives around a 9 to 5 job or business as usual in whatever form they're counting their hours, but like a 40-hour work week or a 60-hour work week. I mean, I joke that I work 100% of the time. I'm working when I'm sleeping because part of my job is to take good care of my physical body so that I can do my work in my waking hours that Gaia has given me to do. And so, a big part of that for me, and a big part of balance for me, is not doing a whole bunch of one thing. I meet a lot of people who, because of their work, they have repetitive strain injuries because they're doing the same movements over and over. And I'm like, it's really hard for me to get a repetitive strain injury because there aren't very many movements that I'm repeating kind of for hours and hours and hours during a week. And it's like, a lot of people have their main hustle and then their side hustle. And I'm like, well, if you have a main hustle and a side hustle, of course you're going to be off balance. But we need 2 side hustles or 3 or 4. And then you can be like, aha, here now, which hustle am I going to be hustling? And you don't decide necessarily with your head by being like scheduling it and being like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. You can get out of this have to and into more of a like want to. What do I want to do? And Ed, he has this project called Positive Futures, and he creates these magazines and articles, or articles that are long enough to become a magazine. He goes to amazing places and interviews people and takes amazing photographs of them to like document how they're living, and it's all outside of, not necessarily all the way outside of modern culture, industrial complex culture, society, but definitely on the fringes of it. Sometimes in war zones. He's gone to a bunch of war zones, including the Ukraine. He's gone to a lot of remote places. He's been with people who don't want to talk to anybody, and somehow they're interested in talking with him, so he gets to talk with them. He himself lives out of a motorbike and a tent and a backpack on super low income that he generates himself. He's well educated, well spoken. Yeah, as I said, big hearted genius dude who just, somehow got this thing that's similar to what I got, which is like, I'm not made for this world. I'm not made to perpetuate this world. I'm here to be part of creating some kind of positive future for humanity, for, life on planet Earth. So, but yeah, in regard to this balance thing, it really got me thinking. And Steve, too, he just came back from this weekend in Texas at this crazy festival event. He rides an electric unicycle. Like, we're not talking like city streets all the time, though he does that too, sometimes with a great big bubble blowing machine attached to the whole thing. But he went to race and he won one of the big race he won, and then he came in second in one of the other races, and this is like part of his life and part of how he creates balance, like doing something super challenging and fun where he's a big part of the community. And he made time to send me these messages on a daily basis about where he's at in himself and how it's going for him and what he's grappling with. Appreciate it so much, because then I can share about what I'm grappling with, and he'll tell stories and give possibilities about that, have tips and hints about things I might try. And we're all like, the three of us and a lot of other people I know, probably if you know me, you're probably one of these people who life is really experimenting, adventures in experimenting and taking the feedback from how it goes and then creating next experiments so that we can have more of the life that we're really sense that we're here for, and create more of the world that we sense we're here to help create. Yeah. So, what have I been sewing? Do you want to see? I make these bags out of t-shirts, and this combines some of my favorite activities: treasure hunting in thrift shops, logos and cool things that are said on t-shirts sometimes. This one's a sweet special one. This is one of the Every Child Matters t-shirts that I got from a thrift shop. I don't like to take too many of these out of thrift shops because I want kids to be able to wear them. But if they're turned into carrier bags, and all I need is a pair of scissors really to do the main stuff, and then I sew the inside of the neck, because I cut out the neck, cut off the arms, cut upward from the bottom, and then turn it inside out and tie the cuts together so as to make to the bottom part, so I don't need to sew anything. And then I just sew the inside of the neck on the straps on the shoulders so that it doesn't come apart. And then it's a carrier bag. And then you know, a t-shirt you'll maybe wear once a week, maybe once every few weeks, but a carrier bag you might carry like every day. So I always have one of these bundled up, rolled up in my main bag, that I used as a prop earlier. And I have a plastic one to pick up garbage, and then I have a cloth one if I end up shopping and want something to put things in. And then I'm also going to be taking them to a store locally who might be interested in selling them, similar to how my friend Salita sold them out of Reworks in Calgary. All right, this has been 12 minutes of talking, and I'm done now. I think I'm going to move on to the next thing, to create balance. I wish you more and more balance in your life. And oh, look, another message from Steve. Yay. Bye for now.